Now to this, the X account of the Democrat Party, which has over 2.4 million followers, had one simple job yesterday: post a Memorial Day message honoring our fallen heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. It's pretty simple, right? Well, it should have been, but a routine, heartfelt gesture erupted into an outrageous controversy completely of their own making.
The message, which has since been deleted, go figure, read this: "Today we honor the American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in Trump's war with Iran." That's right. They chose to weaponize the deaths of our fallen heroes to take a political cheap shot at the commander-in-chief over the war in Iran. Needless to say, the blowback from conservatives and even some Democrats was predictably swift and brutal.
Well, let's discuss this with our panel. Amber Smith is a former senior Pentagon official and a former helicopter pilot. Matthew Whiz Buckley is a U.S. Navy Top Gun fighter pilot and the founder of the Sacred Warrior Fellowship. And our special guest, Elizabeth Rubel, is a chief strategy officer at GMG Global. Let me start with you first, Elizabeth, because this just seems like tone deaf. It's Memorial Day. What is it that Jacob Fry and the DNC can't figure out?
I mean, how vile to do on Memorial Day, to take a cheap shot at the president and take what should be a time to memorialize the people who did make the ultimate sacrifice for our country in a simple post. Even Ilhan Omar got it right. And if there was any merit in what they said, if they felt that they could back what they said at all, they wouldn't have deleted the post. They deleted it because it was in poor taste. And my heart goes out to all of the people whose family died in Iran. And I hope that we can just realize that using the lives of our servicemen and women for politics is in poor taste. And I think the Democrats learned that the hard way yesterday.
You know, Matthew, you think of this, people have flashbacks to Vietnam, where people started to take issue not with the war, but with the people who raised their hand to serve our nation. And it appears to me that Democrats are repeating the same mistakes of yesterday here, where they seem to think it matters the commander-in-chief that asked them to go into battle, and not the fact that they raised their hand to go into battle, irrespective of the political conditions of our country.
It's a great point. When I raised my right hand, and took an oath to the Constitution, not an individual, a set of ideals, and it just and I risked my life for it. Could you imagine if the Republican account under Joe Biden had said, "Hey, you know, the 13 servicemen and women who were killed during his horrific surrender, or the innocent civilians that were killed days later in a knee-jerk reaction drone strike," the Democrats' faces would have melted off. So it's an absolute disgrace. You should not be politicizing any of this at all, especially on Memorial Day. Any day, but especially on Memorial Day.
Yeah, I don't think anybody brought up Afghanistan withdrawal. Amber, you know, as a member of our armed services and as a veteran, how would you react to that post on social media?
Well, there are a few days throughout the calendar year that you don't politicize. Memorial Day is one of them. Veterans Day is another one, because they honor the people who selflessly decided to serve our country, regardless of who's the president at the time, regardless of what political affiliation they are. They decided to serve their country because they are able to rise above politics and do what's best for our country and the American people. And so not only is it absolutely distasteful, I think to your earlier point, is that who is running that account, okay? Probably someone who was not alive in the Vietnam era or doesn't have a connection to the Vietnam era. So they're not aware, and I'm not making excuses here, I'm just pointing out that after Vietnam, you know, the nation culturally realized that we need to treat our veterans better. We need to treat those people serving our country not as political pawns. And we've stepped so far away from that I think a lot of people, this younger generation, doesn't have that self-awareness of that our troops are off limits in terms of using them as political pawns.